What the fuck is up, everyone? Prison Meddler here, back with another album review, and today I will be reviewing As I Lay Dying's new album, Through Storms Ahead, which was released, today right now, by the day of recording, but it'll probably be uploaded the next day or so, but in case y'all get confused, but right now it came out today at the time I'm recording this. So, again, I listened to the album at least 3 times. As you may know, this is the band's first album in over 5 years, and as you may know, with the band, as you may know, there was an announcement that As I Lay Dying would start recording a new album starting in 2022 before releasing some singles throughout the year of 2024 with The Burden and The Cave We Fear to Enter, as well as a few more, which features guests from Tom Barber, who is currently from Chelsea Grin, and Alex Terrible from Slaughtered Prevail, and a few more. And yeah, guys, this album is really a major letdown compared to their last album. This album is, I have to say, it's not good. It's really not good. I mean, I know many of you will say separate the art from the artist and all that, but this one, I just can't. It's mainly the band's relationships with each other, which caused everyone besides Tim to leave the band because their relationships were unhealthy, they're not really getting along, they're not in good terms. And during the recording of this album, and it just kind of seems like their relationships pretty much affects the work on this album. That's how I feel like. I mean, it's just a major letdown. I mean, I thought Shaped by Fire was a pretty decent album overall. I mean, since it seems like they got together, it seems like they forgive Tim for his actions by trying to hire a hitman to kill his ex-wife due to his addiction to steroids and all that. But it seems like ever since they got together, ever since they reunited, they tried to become friends again, and it just seems like it got really bad later on when they reunited. It kind of went to being bad. And as you know, the longtime members who have been to As I Lay Dying, even some of the original members even left the band mainly because of all this happening. And let's talk about how this album pretty much affects it, with some of the songs. Now, as the songs from this album in general, it kind of sounds like, I'm not gonna lie, this songs on this album really bores me to tears on this album. Not only that, the production is pretty bad, and so is the mixing. I do not like the mixing, and I do not like the clean vocal replacements on there too. It's just not very good. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of songs that kind of do stand out, like Strength to Survive and The Cave We Fear to Enter and such, but as for the album in general, just don't fucking bother. It's just the same old shit from the typical As I Lay Dying with not very good production, with poor mixing. A few little bit of things I do like some of the riffs are cool, some of the melodies are cool, some of the guitar solos are somewhat decent, but I wouldn't call them good. It's just, I don't know, it just sounds like you something here from a typical metalcore album. Like, 98% of this album is just full of filler, repetitive hooks, predictable guitar riffs, and such. It's just really not standing out. It's just the same old. Pretty much every single sound sounds the same, and it just kind of sucks, to be honest with you. And not even the guest features on the album didn't do good either. Didn't really save the album as much either. They didn't really do good either. But neither both Tom Barber and Alex Terrible. I mean, it's just a very disappointing collaboration. It's just like a very I just find We Are the Dead a severely mediocre song. It's just not good. It's just like a very formulaic song with bad vocal productions and such, especially from Tim Lambesis. And talk about Tim Lambesis' vocal. His vocals just sounded bad. His growling vocals just don't sound good, to be honest. It kind of sounds like a Cookie Monster impression at times throughout the album. And some of the guitarists, even though a few of them does sound kind of cool at times, most of them kind of sounds like it was ripped off from the recent Trivium records. Like, especially for the song, what's that one song? Through Storms Ahead and A Void Within. It kind of sounds, the riffs kind of sounds like something that's from a Trivium song or something. It's just how original As I Lay Dying is nowadays. And it's kind of sad, since I really do like As I Lay Dying. I do find A Notion Between Us a metalcore classic. So is Four Worlds Collapse and such. But this new album, it's just so bad. Like, really bad. I just don't expect this album to be as good as Shaped of Fire or as decent. I kind of expect it to be decent at best, but unfortunately it's not. I don't expect it to be bad, but it is. And yes, Shaped of Fire is not a masterpiece either, but I do think it's kind of stronger than Awakening and the album before, Awakened and Powerless Rise. I kind of find this album a lot stronger than those two, but with their new album, it's just so weak. I'm not gonna lie, it's just incredibly weak. And pretty much the band's relationship pretty much affected the new album. Because if they're pretty much still in good terms that they were as they reunited, then this album could possibly be better than Shaped of Fire. And if I were to go back to As I Lay Dying's music, I would rather just go back to their old shit from the 2000 shit. I'm sorry, guys. I just think this is a really, really, really bad album, to tell you the truth. I'm giving this a 1.5 out of 5. It's just something that really one of those albums where you're just out of ideas. It's just very unwritten of an album, and due to the band's poor, healthy relationships, I think it's best that Tim just wraps the band up, to tell you the truth, instead of just forming a new lineup, because it just doesn't really matter anymore. Because I just think they should call it quits, especially the original members. The fact that the original members leaving the band and such, it just has a really bad sign to the band's relationships. It's kind of like how Mushroomhead suffered recently. I mean, their last album, Call the Devil, whatever that's called, that album was terrible, and I think that was Mushroomhead's worst album to date. Since, even though As I Lay Dying's new album is not as bad as Mushroomhead's new album, but yeah, their new album is really, Mushroomhead's new album is pretty bad. And this new album is pretty bad too, even though it's not as bad as Mushroomhead's newer album. But it kind of tells me that even if the band members can't get along, they just can't make good music, and it pretty much affects it. So yeah, guys, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I know some of y'all people might not like to hear this, but I think this is As I Lay Dying's worst album to date, to tell you the truth. I think this is their laziest, their weakest, the most poorly produced, most predictable, most formulaic album ever to date. Yes, I think this is their worst album, hands down. So yeah, guys. And if y'all like this album, more power to you. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, but not me. I do not like this album. It's just an utter letdown compared to their last album. So yeah, I do not like this album, and I'm probably not going to listen to this album ever again. And I'm probably not going to... If As I Lay Dying were to record another album, then I might just say fuck it and just pass on that. I mean, I may still come back to other materials like An Ocean Between Us or Shadows for Security or such, but as for the newer stuff, I'm just not going to bother with it. Alright, guys, that's my review. Yes, 1.5 out of 5. This album is a total mess. It's just a waste of time, and yeah, if y'all, I know some of you guys want to hear my thoughts on their new album, since I do like As I Lay Dying. They're a great band, but no, this album is just a total snooze fest and a total stinker of an album. So yeah, guys, more power to you if you enjoyed it and such, but yeah, not for me. Anyways, guys, that's the review. Hope you enjoyed it. So subscribe for more content and such, and I'm going to go ahead and get the fuck out of here, so I'm out.